Hello, happy Wednesday. It's Deb Morgan here, and I'm joined as usual by Claire Rees on a Wednesday for life, love, and laughter. And Claire, you're in a different location today. That's
I
not
am.
a location I recognise. Where are you?
I know. Do you know what happened, Debs? I was running late because guess what? I was
What?
talking. I was talking in the shop.
Well, I'd like to say I'm surprised, but that doesn't surprise me in the slightest.
No, so I was running late and I'm in this cabin. So what happens in our village, a beautiful little quaint activity village, is that I run something called Uche, and that's the name of the village that I live in. Uche Mountain Holiday Homes. So I'm in at one of my holiday homes. I've just been taking photographs of it so I can update the photographs because they needed updated. And I realized we're going to do our live. So I've had to message the person. I said, do you mind if I do live from your cabin?
Fantastic. Well, it looks beautiful. And for the people who are joining us, thank you so much for joining us live. Please give us
Yeah,
some thumbs up and some hearts, and even leave us some comments. Let us know what you'd like to talk about. But if
yeah,
you're joining us live, we're going live using StreamYard. So if you're on Facebook, please give StreamYard permission to access your profile, because then we can see who's joining us.
yeah.
If you're joining us on LinkedIn or YouTube or anywhere else we have gone live, because I can't remember where exactly we've gone live, everywhere, please let us know. Join in the conversation. Come and join us. Claire is joining us live today from one of the beautiful mountain cabins in Ötzjo in Sweden, where she lives.
Yep.
And tell us more about that then, Claire. So what do you do? Do you manage the cabins? This is a part of you that, I kind of know you work in cabins. You'll often say to me, oh, I'm in a cabin today. And I'm like, oh, okay. Fine.
Yeah.
But we don't talk about this side of what you do. Tell me more about it.
I'm a yes person. I'm a people pleaser, as we all know. And part of the dog sledding, when somebody comes dog sledding, they're from a different country, they want to know a country. Sorry, they want to know where they can actually stay if they come from. Just if I am sounding confused, I'm repeating myself in my ears, so it's a bit weird. This is from last time, isn't it? Where middle-aged women can't deal with technology.
Speak for yourself. I
Yeah,
haven't had
yeah,
any
yeah.
tech issues this week at all.
It always seems to be me.
I've had lots this week. Don't worry about that.
Yeah. But there you go. We won't talk about that because we could go on forever. Yeah. So part of the dog sled tours, I'm a people pleaser. I'm a yes person, and people will say, "Claire, is this somewhere we can stay if we come on a dog sled tour? What's the nearest restaurant? What other things can we do?" And I absolutely love figuring out these puzzles. So for a few years, I managed the hotel in the village, but then they brought in the school into the village, and then it didn't really work out for me. So then I thought, well, hang on, there's a lot of cabins in the village. If we have a one-stop shop where people can see where all the cabins in the village are up for rental, then it's a no-brainer. And it is because, I've only been doing this project for like 3, 4 weeks. I got 4 cabins. I got a website up and running. It's advertised on booking.com. It's advertised on Airbnb, Expedia as well, Facebook.
Wow.
So it's just something that really happened. And guests are happy. The holiday home owners are happy. And I'm happy. So it's a win-win
Fantastic.
situation,
So,
really.
Claire Rees, Oxjo's very own Airbnb manager. That's
Yeah,
amazing. I love that. I just love how you've seen that opportunity and done it. And, it's great. And I want to go back to tech issues because I know you're hearing yourself twice. Hopefully, you're only
yeah,
hearing one of me. I know I've been all over lives the last couple of days.
yeah.
And tech
What
issues,
have
oh
you
my
done?
word.
What have you done?
Well, as you know, and some of our viewers may know, some may not, I'm launching my membership group this evening with a
Yes,
masked ball.
I
And
can't
being
wait.
the
I am
good,
going. I
organised,
will be there.
you will be there,
Mhm.
fantastic. Being the organised person that I am, I like to get everything set up in advance. I had emails set up, I got my head around the automation. And then this morning I woke up and I realised that anybody signing up today, because I know I'm very last minute quite often when it comes to events. Lots of people might think, actually, I am home, I'm going to join, I'm going to support Deb, I'm going to find out what she's been talking about all week.
Yeah.
I'm going to sign up. So I thought, actually, if they sign up today, the automation isn't going to work because it talks about 5 days to go and 3 days to go and things like that. So I need to circumnavigate it.
Yeah.
So I went into my automation program platform, thought, right, okay, I can jump from one to the other. I was feeling very smug at that point that I'd worked out that I could get people to come straight into the top of it and get to the relevant action that was relevant for them. And I managed to delete every single email in the automation, as well as every single person queued up for it.
No.
But, I did sort it out. I had to go old school. I've had to go old school. Thankfully, all the people who were signed up to it were all on one list, which is great. So I just exported all their names, and I've set up all the emails that needed to go out to schedule them to go out later, using what I always have been familiar with, what I've used in the past.
Yeah.
So, yes, I had a bit of a tech nightmare, and it's always when you've got something really important coming up, when you're on a deadline, when you've got lots of other things in your diary as well. I've got a totally rammed afternoon, so I had to do it before we went live. And I thought, I don't believe this. What is going on with the tech? But it is a note to self. Next time I do a launch, I am getting a VA. Absolutely. My goal for next year is to get a VA. The time has come where I can no longer do it all myself. And, part of me feels I should be doing it myself. I should. We had this conversation last time. You don't like the use of the word should.
Don't should all over yourself.
I spent so many years as a corporate PA. So I really feel that all that stuff I should be doing myself. But I'm going to have to bite the bullet. I'm going to have to delegate it out. So I'm quite happy for any of our listeners to recommend tech VAs to me. I'm not going to be doing anything this side of the new year. And I will start looking properly in the new year. But if you've got any recommendations for tech VAs that you're happy to share, please let me know, because I certainly need them. Technology has moved on apace since I was one of the UK's leading VAs.
It's just moving on faster and faster and faster. The technology is just... Do you remember when we were kids and our parents would ask us to do things and you're like, oh, let me do it. You're just so slow. Well, guess where we are now.
I know.
You see the youngsters and they're there and they're like, oh, get out of the way. And I think, oh, I feel so old, Just show me. I don't know. I'm a little bit slower, but no, they haven't got the patience. And I remember being in their shoes.
My son last night showing me how to cast my phone to the TV.
Oh, I could do that.
I don't watch much TV. Yeah. And I'm one of those, I rarely watch iPlayer or Catch Up or whatever it's called. Yeah. Because if I can't watch it live, I'm probably too busy to watch it on replay unless it's something I really want to watch. Yeah. So we've never had Sky or Netflix or anything like that. I did subscribe to Netflix last year and now I really enjoy it. Yeah. But I'm not somebody people have, is it Sky Plus where they pause things to watch later?
You're speaking to the wrong person.
But my son was trying to show me something.
That's all I have.
Yeah, my son was trying to show me something on his phone last night. And I said, well, can you cast it to the TV? He said, yeah, hold on a minute. I said, well, how do I do that? Not that there's anything on my phone that I particularly want to cast to the TV, let's face it.
Yeah.
And he said, well, you just do this, this and this and this. Whoa, slow down. What did you do? Where did you...
So
and I'm sat there thinking, hey, I've turned into my mother.
Yeah. Do you know what, Debs? This live, you can cast this to your TV.
Yeah, I'm not.
So you can watch ourselves.
Nobody needs to be seeing me on a larger screen than what they're already watching it on.
We've got 2 people on. We did have 4 people on just now. So whoever you are, just put something in the comments. Debs, you're going to have to help me out on this because I'm on my phone and I can't see anything. So it'd be fantastic if you can... Oh,
so I'm going to be your PA and check the comments. Look, you've scared somebody off now, Claire.
I know.
That's no good, is it?
Sorry.
That's fine. I will be your PA. I will watch what's in the comments and I will share them as and when we get any. So that's absolutely fine.
Oh, fabulous.
I really wanted today to talk about your Swedish cabins, and then you mentioned about the technology, and we went off on a tangent,
Yeah,
as we always do.
As we do.
You know, that's why we don't script this at all. You can probably tell. But we don't, because we want it to be in the moment. We want it to be an organic conversation between two friends. You know, we spend a lot of time putting the world to rights generally. Lots of people join us at various other times, and we'd love for people to just jump in and join us. I'm sat here with a cup of tea. Claire's probably got a tea or a coffee there somewhere. And
I haven't actually.
You haven't? That's unusual for you.
No, I haven't, because I'm in a different place.
Of course, you're somebody else's home, and you're there making sure it all looks good and staging it ready for your photos. Fantastic. But do you know what? Just before we came live, I was having a real old sort of rant to myself about drying washing. How old are we? You know, I always used to laugh at my grandmother, who used to say, "Oh, isn't it lovely to see the washing drying on the line?" And I love to see the washing drying on the line. But
How long do you leave
the
your
sun is
washing on
shining
the
at the
line?
moment, but we've had rain all morning. And I've got the clothes airer out. I don't know, you might call it a clothes airer. Some people call it a clothes maiden. Some people call it a clothes horse. I've heard it called lots of things. But you know those frames that you pull up, put your clothes on to dry, your airers. And why is it this time of year, they're just everywhere? Oh, Naz has said, absolutely agree about needing a PA. Just want someone to take all that admin, social media stuff off my hands. Absolutely, exactly.
Anybody
That's exactly what
out
I
there,
want.
Debs needs a VA, and Naz needs one as well.
Yeah,
So
give
reach out to
give
Naz.
us your recommendations for tech VAs, because we will take them. And you know, maybe we could get somebody who can dry my clothes for me as well, because I hate having the clothes out. No, that wouldn't be a PA or a VA. That's not right. That's not fair. But you know, a housekeeper. Maybe I need a housekeeper. I can just imagine my partner if
Can
I
I
said,
tell
"Darling,
you
we've got a
something?
housekeeper." Go on.
My long-term goal is to have a housekeeper.
And there's nothing wrong with
like
that.
to
To
have
have
one.
somebody
No.
come in, and years ago, I used to have an amazing lady who came in. She did my cleaning and she did my ironing for me. And she was far better than me. She cleaned my house so much better than I could clean it. She did my ironing. Well, I was going to say she did my ironing better than I could do it. I rarely iron.
I don't iron
if I don't have to.
iron. Anybody
And-
iron out there? I never iron.
You know, people do iron. I mean, I know lots of people who actually really enjoy ironing. I had a friend who would take the iron and the ironing board out into the garden in the summer and do all of her ironing there. Other people I know who have set up ironing businesses. And they iron all day long in the garden.
And
I
love
can't
it.
imagine anything worse, to be honest. But, you know, that's what makes us all different. It's fantastic. But I really hate having the clothes airer hanging about the house, because
me
this
too.
time of year, they just get in the way. And we haven't got a huge house. I don't have a room that I can put it in. We don't have a spare sort of utility or laundry area. I have had that in the past, and that was fabulous. So it means that I stick it into the dining room, because that's the room that's least used. But because we are open plan downstairs,
You can see it all.
when I'm sitting down relaxing, I can see the washing just on the airer. And this time of the year, you seem to just get one load dry, and then the next load is on it. So it never goes away. It becomes a permanent piece of furniture for at least 4 or 5 months. And it drives me insane. You know, how old am I talking about the washing on a live? But I hate it. You know, what do you think? What's everybody else's viewpoint? How do you feel about the airer? You totally couldn't manage my housekeeping without my cleaner. She's brilliant. Gets everything done in 3 hours per week. What would normally take me 3 days? Yeah, exactly.
It would take me 3 days.
And I'm sort of on that cusp. I keep thinking, you know what? It only takes a couple of hours to get this done. If I put my mind to it, the house can be done, and it's done and dusted, literally. But equally, I get a housekeeper in, I get somebody to do it for me, I'm relaxed, they get paid, I'm helping the local economy. You know, there's an argument for and against. So maybe that's something else in the new year. A housekeeper.
Well, I've got
and
something to say, and quite a lot about this subject, actually, Deb, because I totally agree with it. Because when I came to Sweden, and I still do it now, is that I clean other people's houses. I clean the holiday homes, and it can take me like 3 hours, and I can do it. It's no problem. And the houses look nice. But for myself, forget it. And as for the washing, I'm going to watch your face very carefully as I tell you this. My washing machine room right now it has got a box, no, a big bin full of dog food. And my darling husband has got a moose skin in my washing machine room, hanging up. So I can't use it right now. But I have
But you have a washing machine room.
I have a washing machine room that I can't use. So my clothes are in my living room because we live in an apartment, very small apartment. We're renting at the moment. Plan is to build a cabin.
Whilst you're building your amazing cabin.
Yes. And so my clothes area is in, I've got a kitchen living room, and it's in the middle of that. And yeah, I'm with you, Deb. I cannot stand it. In fact, the other day I had the 5 puppies in the house, and they took all the clothes off on the floor and they made a little bed for themselves. It was
That's
chaos.
really cute
It's
in the one
absolute
respect, but in the
chaos.
other hand, it's just, oh my word. I'd be
But to
having
have
words with
those
Rich if I was
clothes-
you.
What my worst part of the washing procedure is putting the clothes away. Can't stand it. I don't know what it is. It's just like putting them away. Yeah. Because I just feel as if once you put them away, they get used and you're washing them again.
Yeah, but then the same could be said for dishes and crockery. You know,
Yeah.
why wash it and put it away? Because we're going to use it again. And I have this argument with my teenage son. He says, well, what's the point, Mum?
Yeah.
We're only going to use them again. I say, oh, so you're happy for me to serve you food on a dirty plate, are you?
Yeah.
No. I said, so where's the difference? Oh, well, that's different because we eat it. So, yeah, but your clothes go next to your skin. You know, it's kids. Anyway, but do you know what? The thing that concerns me most, I think.
That's my husband's mentality.
Yeah.
Oh, I could really go into this one, but I'm not.
This isn't about a character assassination of your husband. We'll have a private session for that, okay? But as I say every time, poor Richard.
Poor Richard. Poor Richard.
Bless him.
Oh,
But
poor Richard.
I've got a question. You said, you clean the cabins.
Yeah.
How do you deal with other people's mess? Because I can't cope with that, other people's mess. I just
They don't
cannot
leave a
cope with
mess,
it at all.
actually. They don't leave a mess. I don't know if it's any different in Sweden or the UK, because I've never done this in the UK. But in Sweden, it's literally just a clean. It's not messy. I've never had a mess.
Okay.
I don't know. Holiday makers seem to be really great. They just put everything away, and it's just a dust over, clean the bathroom, clean the kitchen, and hoover a mop. It can take about 3 hours because this cabin I'm in now, it sleeps 8 people, and one of the cabins I got sleep 12 people. But for me as well, think about this, right? We work so hard through the year, don't we? And for me, it's great pleasure to think that I have made a cabin really nice for somebody to come on holidays. They've worked so hard, they've saved their money, and they walk into the cabin and it takes their breath away. That's what keeps me going. So it's different with my home, isn't it? Because with my home, as soon as I clean it, to turn around, then it's a mess again. But with these cabins, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure.
Yeah.
I won't do any more than 3 hours because that's as far as my concentration will go with 3 hours.
That's really good. No, I
I'm only
couldn't
motivated
do.
in 3 hours.
I couldn't do other people's mess. I've always been the same since I was a child. Even as a kid, and my mother often brings this up, even now at the age of 51. But even as a kid, if my hands got dirty or sticky, I would go crying to my mum to have my hands cleaned.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't like it to this day. It's really
Yeah.
strange. It's just like, oh, no, and oh, that's a bit dusty or a bit... Ugh. Not that I go into people's homes and sort of wipe my hand across the mantelpiece or anything like that. I don't do that.
Yeah.
But sometimes people's homes just seem grubby as you go into them, don't they? And I'm like,
I think that's with a
okay.
house clean. And we have done a house years and years ago. We were cleaning a hotel, and we had a lot of immigrants coming into Sweden, and we had to clean the hotel after them, and I couldn't do that because it was really, really, really dirty. And it wasn't their fault. They just didn't know how to do it, and they weren't allowed to do it. So we had to clean up their mess, and it was all men's area. I was throwing up. So that wasn't nice. So, but I think with holiday makers, it's completely different. And we live in an activity village, so it's not like a party village. It's more people come here to have activities. They go walking, they go dog sledding. In the summertime, they go fishing, walk in the mountains. So it's a different kind of guests that we have here. We don't have the big party makers.
And I guess that makes a massive difference, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I think if I was in Aura, which is like the ski area where most probably people come, and they're there to just party ski, then it's going to be a different kettle of fish. But this is okay. This is okay.
Yeah, that's
I can
good.
do that.
And I remember when I sort of came over in March, and I'm coming over again next March as well.
March. Yeah.
But, we went into Aura, didn't we? Because you showed me the sort of main ski area. And we thought, let's go and grab a drink somewhere. And we ended up in this bar, and it was bumping, wasn't it? If I was sort of in my mid-20s or 30s, then I'd have been like, come on, let's get into this. But we both stood there and looked at each other and said,
we want back
we're a bit old, should we go somewhere else? And we just thought we didn't want that, did we? It was really loud. It looked like everybody was having so much fun. And back in the day, I would have stayed there. I'd have partied hard, and I'd have been up the next morning, and I'd have been out all day as well. But
not anymore,
at this time of our lives, it was just, no, actually, I want to go home and have a good night's sleep.
I want to go my cocoa. I want to have a cup of tea and a piece of cake. But we've done it though, Debs. We've done the party. We've been there. We've done it. We've got.
Oh boy, have we partied?
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's what we met. But for me now, it's to go out. I would rather go out and meet people and find things about them, have a good, and have a lovely conversation and find out about people and it's a bit intellectual, really, isn't it? I just want to sit there and talk.
I want to talk and actually enjoy the evening, enjoy the food, enjoy good wine, and actually remember it as well the next day. And be able to get up the next day and think, that was a really good night, I enjoyed that. But then look forward to going into your day. The days of sort of getting up with a fuzzy head and thinking, oh God, I've got to go and do whatever today.
I think the last time, what are we now? We're in August time. I had 3 glasses of wine with a friend of mine when I was back in Wales. I woke up the next day with such a horrendous hangover, and it was the wrong day. And I haven't really drunk since. I've had 1 glass of wine since. I just don't want it anymore. That's really boring, isn't it?
Yeah, I was going to say, I can't say I've been that good, but certainly, I will drink maybe 2 glasses of wine at a time, and then it's like, right, actually I've had enough now.
You remember those days you go out and have 2 bottles?
I'd just be warming up.
Yeah, that's just a warm up. That's what you have in the house while you're getting ready to go out, isn't it? Yeah, but I think, things, why would you want to be still in the same party mindset? Because it's the same old stuff for me.
Exactly.
Let's move on and let's do other things, because that's what life is about. Because all of a sudden, I'm 49, you're 50, what do you
51.
say, 51, We've got to live our lives because it goes so quick. And why do I want to spend all those time drunk?
Yeah, no, I'm with you then. Live our life on our terms.
Yes.
And yes, we do change as we get over. Our appreciation of different things changes. Yeah. And, you're right. I enjoy that conversation. Let's go out. Let's have the conversation. Let's talk about stuff that's going on in the world, stuff that's going on in our village or our town.
Yeah.
It's no longer, and I guess, it's a bit different. Maybe if we were both single, it might be a bit different, and we might say, well, we want to go out because we want to meet other people.
Yeah.
But even when I was single, sort of going out with the prospect of meeting somebody else, I used to dread it. And I see various things.
Yeah,
I'm
I
tuned
never
into
liked
lots of
that.
groups with what I do. People saying, oh, online dating is a nightmare. This is a nightmare. And I'm
I wouldn't
so
want to be there
glad
now.
I'm not in that position. And there's a part of me thinks, if I was single now, I don't think I'd bother.
No, I wouldn't.
I actually don't think I would bother, because it's an absolute minefield. And that's sad, because with that mindset, I would be missing
But
out.
let me ask you a question, Deb.
Go on.
Is that just our age? Because did our parents say the same thing about us?
I don't think it is age, because I know plenty, in the work I do work with lots of single women who want to go out there, who want to meet somebody.
Mm.
But so many people say the same thing about the online dating world. But interestingly, it's not just women that say that, men say it as well. And I think it's like anything. Everybody gets tarred with the same brush.
Yeah.
And there are lots of people out there. Oh, goodness me. I have done research, and I'm not on dating sites. I have looked at some of them.
So just in case you're listening,
research purposes, it's all right. Floss is quite happy. Floss is fine. We're all fine. We're all good. And you look at them and you think, oh my word, why do people think that's going to actually generate a lasting relationship for them? And let's face it, we only have to see, any of us women only have to see some of the messages we get into our DMs and responses to social media posts.
I was only thinking about this morning.
When I put a social media post up with one of my images on, of professional images of me, and the DMs that come in. Now, part of me, I guess, is flattered. Oh, right, that person thinks I'm attractive. But the rest, it's so sleazy. It is so creepy. Yeah. And you think, for goodness sake, do you really think that is going to get a response that you need? Because at what point, I'm sure, 2 or 3 messages in, they'd be asking me to send a photo. I'm sure of it.
Or money.
I've heard from other people. Or money, yeah, there's that one.
Not tarring everybody with the same brush. But what do you think of this, though, Deb? That some people will get sucked into them, and they have, haven't they? They've sent money to online people, and how? Like, this is your bag, not mine. I do not understand how you could send money to somebody you don't know, but obviously there's something behind it, because some people have been sucked into this, and they're intelligent people,
but they're also vulnerable. And if they are feeling lonely, if they have recently lost a loved one, if they want someone special in their life, and particularly if they're not that savvy perhaps on social media, and they think that the person contacting them is genuine. And it happened to a friend of mine a couple of years ago. She found herself single, and she was on the dating sites. She said, oh, look at this man, look at this. And I said, I don't know. She said, oh, he sounds lovely. And they'd had this long conversation, and she absolutely wears her heart on her sleeve. And I remember looking at it, and I said, goodness, that's moved quickly. Oh yes, but isn't he lovely? And I mean, he wasn't an airline pilot in the American Army, so he wasn't that much.
They're the most common
but
ones,
I think,
aren't they?
Was he a surgeon? They're either airline pilots or surgeons or something, aren't they?
Surgeons, yeah.
But he was up there, and there were flags rising for me. And when I got home from our evening out, I happened to go on Twitter, and I'd had a message from somebody with a different name, but I thought, I'm sure that's the photo that my friend showed me. Wow. So I took a screenshot and sent it to her, and she came back and said, oh my God, that's him. I said, yes. I said, there was something not right about what you were showing me earlier, but of course I didn't want to dampen her enthusiasm. No. I didn't want her to feel that I was perhaps, I don't know, jealous in any way. And when we looked at it, and she said, well, how did you know that something wasn't quite right even before you saw that photo? And I was able to go through the message and say, look, this isn't right. Somebody who is genuinely looking for a relationship, who genuinely wants to get to know you, isn't going to, in the first few moments, declare their undying love for you. That is normal. But she was
a
in
red
such
flag
a
for me.
vulnerable place at that moment that she wanted to believe it. And she is an intelligent woman, a professional, intelligent woman who is incredible at her job. She works on an international basis. It flies all over the world.
Yeah.
And she said, but how have I got sucked into this? And she doesn't use social media very much. So she just got sucked into it, thinking that everybody else was as genuine as she is. And it's really horrible when you have to be careful like that. When you are looking at messages and thinking, okay, what's behind this message? And I've seen it myself this week. As you know, I've been promoting my Unmasked membership, which if you're watching and you want to join, it's 7:00 tonight. I'll put some links
UK time. Let me just. It's
UK time, 7:00 UK time. And there will
Swedish
be a replay.
time,
So
it's 8 p.m.
yeah, there will be a replay. So if you want to come and find out more, I'll stick some links up in a minute. But
Don't say it's a replay. Everybody sign up. We want you there tonight.
yes, come and see it live. That'd be much better for me. Far better than talking to myself. However,
you won't be talking to yourself. I'm there.
Oh, all right then. You'll be bored of me by the end of today. But
never.
I've noticed it this week in some of the marketing I've been doing, and one of the things I've done to promote my group is send a personalised direct message to every single member of my private group.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, in their business women, they know that this is part of the process, it's part of the marketing. Oh, thanks, Deb, I'll be there if I can. Good luck for tonight. Or yes, I'm already signed up, or whatever it might be, the response. But a handful of people, oh, thank you so much for reaching out and thinking about me. And whilst I am thinking about them, and I have personalised it, and I have included information about what I know about them, equally, it is part of a marketing process.
Yeah.
And it's, in one respect, it's frightened me, some of the messages I've had back.
Wow.
Where people have felt that it is absolutely a personal invitation. And in the one hand, it is personal. And yes, some of these people I absolutely can help, and they need what I'm offering. But the way they have taken a message which is quite generic with some personalised aspects and picked all the personal stuff out of it. Now, I could be doing myself a disservice there, because I genuinely care about the people in my circle.
You do,
and
care. And I can vouch for that. Definitely,
thank you. And I know Naz, who's been watching with us, she knows the same. When I message somebody, it is, even if I am trying to sell something, it is personal. I am remembering conversations we've had, remembering things they might have posted, remembering messages they might have sent to me. So I'm not as quite as cutthroat as I'm making myself out to be.
No. But you retract
equally,
them. Well done, then.
Equally, the vulnerability. They know me. They've grown to know and trust me. So yes, they are going to be slightly more vulnerable with me. But what I'm trying to say is, if they are responding like that to somebody who they don't really know that well, they only know me through this medium, through the group, through having those conversations in the group. If they are in a place where they need support, where they need or want somebody to love or be loved, and
they go
somebody
into
picks
be
up on
sucked in,
because some of them I know they are quite open on public profiles with what's going on in their lives. It's really easy to pick that stuff up and to make it sound like you're just solely focused on them. And that has been a massive learning for me. And I felt really guilty about sending my messages to my group. It's part of my marketing process. But equally, I genuinely care. And it's finding that balance.
You genuinely care. And wow, what an achievement for you that people have reached out to you, and just shows how many people want to be cared about.
Absolutely.
They want to be cared about. So I would take that as a huge compliment, to be honest with you. I know when I've got a membership which we co-founded with Sarah Nystrom, the Confident Communication Queens membership, and some of the same things happen. And this is what I love about the membership, is that women will reach out to us because they know that we genuinely care, and they really need that somebody that will listen to them. And that's so important. That's so important.
Absolutely.
Because I think like you and you're much more qualified than I am. But part of being a coach is listening without judgment.
Totally.
Because there's so much judgment in this world, isn't it? It's like you go to your friend and you say something about your husband and oh, he shouldn't do that and this shouldn't happen. To have that person at the end of an email, at the end of the phone, or at our meetings, who will not judge us and we can actually speak from the heart is valuable.
Absolutely. And I mean, you know how open I am about my background and my past. You know,
Yeah,
it is what it
yeah,
is, and some people won't like it. And some people say, "Good for you," and that's
yeah,
absolutely fine. You know, not everybody's for everybody. And I think as well, you know, we are in such a place of privilege. You know, we
yeah,
are so privileged to do the work we do with the women we work with, who are open, who do allow themselves to be vulnerable with us,
yeah,
and yeah, every single day I'm grateful for that because you know it's what drives me. It gets me out of
yeah,
bed in the morning knowing that I am helping others because I
yeah,
know they will go on and help others themselves. When we feel good about
exactly.
ourselves, we actually
Mm,
raise other people up.
yeah.
And you know, really what you and I do is incredibly selfish because we get to feel so good about what we do,
Yeah,
you know? And that's
yeah,
it. I come off client calls, I come off conversations like this, and I am
yeah,
bouncing.
yeah.
And even in those days where we have our down days, and you know, I had a bit of a meltdown earlier in the week,
You
but
did,
even
you
then,
did.
you know, we have our friends, we have those people we can reach out to. And, you know, it's great. I've got you, I've got my friend Vicky, who's also my coach as well.
Yeah.
And you both sort of say to me, okay, and you give me the tough love as well. Isn't that wonderful? You know, I was really wallowing in it, I think Monday or Tuesday, whatever day it was, and Monday I
And
think it
you
was.
are allowed to wallow
And you're
now and
allowed to,
again.
but you both sort of
Yeah,
held me really
yeah,
tightly, metaphorically.
yeah,
And then sort of
yeah.
said, right, okay. I started asking. You both went into coaching mode, which was great, although I didn't like it at the time. And started asking me those questions that you knew I was going to ask myself. And I was asking myself, but I was choosing to ignore
Yeah,
them. But when your friends stand up and do something like that and make you or ask you difficult questions,
yeah,
and they do to you what you do to others, it's
yeah.
great because it reminds you of the impact you have.
Well,
Because,
I
go
think
on.
the worst thing in the world that you can actually say to somebody who's going to somebody, oh, don't worry about it. It'll be okay. It'll sort itself out. Because you don't want to hear that at that time. You're like,
Exactly. Because
well,
when
I was
you're
going
in
to swear then, but I can't.
it, when you're in it, your world is ending.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Absolutely.
it's it's like, what do you know? You don't. I don't know what you're thinking at that time. I can only know what you're actually telling me. So I can't say it from my perspective because I just don't know. I
Exactly.
don't know exactly how you. I just know you were having a meltdown. It's like, okay, how are we going to get through this? How can I support you? You know, and you've done it to me, and oh, I don't like it when people say, "Oh, yeah, one door closes, another opens. It'll be all right," and all that stuff. It's like good, solid support that we need, and that's what you and I do, and that's why I love with the CCQ. I love my workshops. They're so random. And last night we were talking about menopause, weren't we? And remember, somebody came on we didn't know.
Mm,
And I was like, I wasn't prepared actually to go any further until I know who this person was. Because because we were all talking so openly that I didn't want to spoil that. It was a really good conversation. And like my workshops are very random and it's more about allowing people to have a platform where they can actually talk about their deepest thoughts and feelings and help each other.
exactly. And it's great. I mean, CCQ, Confident Communication Queens, we have a lovely meeting every Tuesday evening. Then you
Yeah,
come into my group, the Unmasked membership. on a Wednesday, which is still quite random. It's more of a framework to mine because it follows my coaching program. But, it's still quite random because you never know what's going to come up. And I might have an idea of what we're going to talk about, and then somebody will ask a question or say something and say, right, okay, we're going to go down that route tonight. Let's do that. And that's absolutely fine.
Great. I love that.
The joy of coaching is that we can do that, and we can allow the people we work with to drive it as well. Equally, if we know they have a set objective and they have a deadline, then we have the skill set to bring it back to that. But you have to know when to let people go, when to let them go off on their own little tangent before bringing them back. And I think I might have talked about this with you before. They're like toddlers. And I say, let's think of your partner as a toddler. Remember those reins we used to have on kids? The extendable dog leads, the retractable dog leads. It's like that. You put them on one of those and let them wander off, and then every so often, nope, you come back now. That's it. We need to get back on track now and take it from there. And when you can visualize that, and when you see things like that, it's okay. It's absolutely okay to go off on a tangent. And goodness knows how many tangents have we gone off here this afternoon in the last 40 minutes. Let's face it. We know we're going to go off on a tangent.
It's been like a spaghetti junction.
Absolutely. We do always have a vague plan of what we want to talk about. Sometimes we talk about it, sometimes we don't. And that's absolutely fine, because life's like that. Life doesn't always go according to plan.
Yeah.
And it's about being able.
I use the saying, organized chaos.
Yes.
Because I 100% believe that if you are super organized and everything is structured, you get more stress when something goes wrong, because it will go wrong, because nothing can go perfect. Then you get more stress when something goes wrong. It's like they call bridezillas, isn't it? Where their weddings have to go to plan, and one little thing, the cake turns up 10 minutes late or something like that, and they lose the plot. Where actually those parts of a wedding are the best. The best bits are the bits that go wrong with a wedding, I think.
Well, funnily enough, my second marriage, it was an absolutely perfect wedding. I loved the wedding that we organised. And the cake was being delivered. It arrived at the hotel, and the middle tier was damaged. So the hotel sent it back.
Oh.
And they phoned me up. This is the morning of the wedding. I hadn't yet arrived at the hotel. They phoned me up and they said, we've sent the middle tier of your cake back because it was damaged and you deserve better than that, so we weren't prepared to accept it. We've told them to come back either with it repaired or with a bottle of their best champagne for you. I ended up on my wedding day. I had a new tier, a middle tier for the cake, and I had a bottle of champagne, and the best bit was my now ex-husband didn't drink, so I had the whole bottle of champagne to myself. And the hotel would not let anyone else drink it. They said, no, that's Deb's. And it was a really good bottle. It wasn't,
they're the best bits. They're the bits that you can talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what I mean, because we just went off a tangent. And I can't remember what we were talking about before that, because there was a reason that when we're structured,
when we plan too much, it creates stress if things go wrong.
Yeah.
And I've always done that as a PA. I always did that. I would never ever book out 100% of a diary or a calendar. And I try and do that with myself now. Even when I had my VA business, I would never book my team out 100% of the time. Only ever book out 80% of the time, because then if things go wrong, as they always do, you had that contingency built in. And it's one of the things I work with now. If I could only give one time management piece of advice to anybody, it would be don't book out 100% of your time. There's that classic 80-20 rule, isn't it? Book out 80% of the time, so you've still got that 20% to play with. And it doesn't have to be sort of 80% of each day. It can if that's how you want to work. But as long as you have time in the week to get stuff done, and it always works really well doing that if you're on a deadline.
Yeah. I've got it's like today now. I've just got 3 things I've got to do. I got 2 cabins to photograph, and I've got this live, which is really good because I haven't got much today, but I'm already running late.
Well, I better let you go. And we've been live now for just about 45 minutes, which we know we can talk. Let's face it, we do pretty good at talking about not a lot of stuff generally, but it's.
But I think it's valuable stuff. It's a lot of valuable stuff, So I will see you tonight.
You will indeed. You will see me tonight.
7. Oh, look,
the mask ball look.
She's got it.
I'm quite excited.
I've got to print mine off.
Yeah.
And if anybody's interested, reach out to Debs. Come along. It's going to be a lovely party and learn about her membership. And what I will do is when I get back to the office, or maybe Debs can do it now, my VA. Oh, there you go. But I don't think you can spell it. Is put Uche Holiday Home. Uche Mountain Holiday Homes in the chats, and you can go to that Facebook group. And if anybody's interested in Confident Communication Queens, you can go to the Confident Communication Queens group as well.
Now and do
you
this,
did it, and you spelled Uche right. I'm really impressed. And for anybody who's watching this who are Swedish, she hasn't got the but she hasn't got that on her keyboard.
No, I don't have that on my keyboard, but hold on a moment. Right. Oh, is that the one? No, that's a private house there. I can't do that one. But I'll put the other one up as well.
Yeah.
Let's have a look. Confident Communication Queens. Oops.
And am I right in saying, Deb, that you're behind the mask membership? People can come once to try it out?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if people want to come along tonight to find out more about it.
Yeah.
And if you are interested, you can come along to a meeting as well when it starts proper. Tonight, obviously, is an information evening. But come along this evening, find out more, register your interest, and we'll go from there. I'll reach out and I can invite you into another event then where it's likely to be fewer people, and we go from there. But yeah, it's great. So Claire, I've just put the link to the Confident Communication Queens Facebook group in there.
And just to let everybody know that you can come twice. You can and I would recommend somebody come along to the social, because they're loads of fun, aren't they, Debs?
They're good fun, yeah. They are good fun.
They're even more random in this conversation.
That's true. That's very true. And more global as well.
Oh, yeah.
As is the Unmasked membership is quite global, actually. That's quite
yours
nice.
is as well.
So we are. Right, I'm going to love you and leave you. You've got cleaning to do.
No. Photographing today. No cleaning today.
No cleaning today. You're just photographing. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll leave you to it. Thank you so much to those of you that have joined us. Thank you, Naz, if you are still here. Thank you for commenting. I'm going to take that on board. PA and a housekeeper. Those are my goals for 2023. Yes. So I'm going to be doing that.
Yes.
I will see you very soon. Take care.
Yeah. Have a lovely day. Take care, everybody. Lots of love.
Bye.